All right. Welcome to the Roast It Yourself podcast brought to you by Coffee Bean Corral and Current Crop Roasting Shop. I'm Stephen Burnett with Coffee Bean Corral in Jackson, Mississippi. And with me is Catherine Mansell, certified Q grader and director of Current Crop Roasting Shop in New Orleans, Louisiana. Catherine, how are you today?
I'm great.
Yeah.
I'm here. I love doing this in person, and Thanksgiving is this week.
Yep.
So I'm officially home until Friday.
And you've wasted no time busting out the sweater.
Right. No,
Like,
yeah.
we have
I packed
sweater
it on
weather.
purpose.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's going to get to 74 today.
Yeah,
But
I
right
know.
now, it's sweater time. So you don't miss those opportunities
Right.
around here.
Thursday's gonna be really cold.
Yes, it will. I'm
So.
looking forward to that. Well, each week we set aside about 10 minutes to field questions from home coffee roasters and professionals alike about roasting, tasting, and most importantly, enjoying coffee. You can send your questions to questions@riypod.com. That's questions@riypod.com to get a nice shout out from us in an upcoming episode and to get your question answered. We've got a question today from Dana, writing from Colorado Springs, who asks, "Hi. I've been roasting on the SR540. Now that's a fresh roast roaster, SR540, for about 8 months and about 18 roasts in. Have been enjoying the podcast and using your SR540 roast profile without the extension tube with the beans I recently purchased from CBC. Now she's talking there about our video series on YouTube where we go through each roaster and show you how to roast on these roasters that we sell online. So you can check that out. Results have been better than what I was expecting before. Thanks for that. But if I go to the full time, I think I'm starting to get closer to second crack. Measuring the temperature on the machine shows about 270 degrees with a slight oily sheen to some, but not all of the beans. My altitude in Colorado Springs is about 6,000 feet and average humidity is 30 to 40%. With this in mind, are there adjustments I should or could make to the profile to perhaps stay closer to the medium roast level? For myself, the darker roast is good, but I have others who I give samples to that prefer more of a medium roast. Again, keep up the good work and information. It's been very helpful so far. Thanks, Dana S., Colorado Springs, Colorado."
Thanks, Dana.
Yeah, really, really sweet shout out there to
Yeah.
us. Okay, well, Catherine, what do you think about this?
So I was trying to do some research in Mississippi and New Orleans. We're not even close to getting above
We are sea level.
Yeah, I think New Orleans is below sea level.
Mhm.
So I was looking around to try to find some people who were around that area, see if they had any information, and I found one from Steamboat Coffee Roasters in the Colorado Rockies.
Oh,
So they've got pretty close to the same feet above sea level. One's 6,000, one's just over 6,000. So getting technical, oxygen molecules are further apart at a higher altitude due to the lack of pressure pushing them together. Above 5,000 feet, there's less oxygen and the same amount of air than at a lower altitude. Less oxygen and less pressure means that you can roast your beans at a lower temperature for a shorter amount of time. It actually helps avoid common roasting mistakes of baking or scorching beans when that normally occurs when the initial temperature is too high, and that can leave your coffee tasting very flat. But roasting at higher altitude brings out really great flavors, no burnt beans, strong flavors. So what I was thinking is, instead of using that guide start to finish like we do here, you'd want to start off with a lower temperature for a shorter amount of time, right?
yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. And I wouldn't be too aggressive with it. I would maybe knock the temp down, start at one less heat and then just watch it. I mean, at the end of the day, and I say this all the time, like there's a lot of variables in coffee roasting and you have to watch the bean and see if the bean's doing what you want it to do at the time you want it to do.
Yeah.
I will sometimes, we get people buy voltage regulators to regulate the voltage coming into their home.
Right.
It's a great idea. People use voltage monitors to monitor the voltage coming into their home. They do all these things so they can kind of, with the information available to them, make these roasting adjustments like mid roast.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you're like, ooh, I've still got 2 minutes left on this, and I think the beans are getting close to done.
Yeah.
Well, go with that, because I have tried to make the beans fit the profile,
Yeah.
and that doesn't turn out the way you want it to.
Right. Yeah.
as long as you're hitting that first crack and the beans are going to be good. When it comes to dumping or time to pull them, yeah, I would end a little earlier
Yeah.
than you are. So keep
Yeah.
an eye.
Right when that first crack is over and it gets quiet, I normally wait about a minute.
Yeah.
And then I drop and cool everything down. So if you are, and she sent us this guide, which is really awesome.
Please show that off.
Yeah.
This is the new standard.
Yes.
Anybody, when you send a question in, you have to be polite, and you also have to send us a whole sheet here.
Yeah.
You don't have to do either of those things, actually. No, you could be.
You can tell she's listening to what we're saying and actively taking notes is really what you want to do. So instead of having that be a 9-minute roast, you could end that at a 7-minute roast.
Mm-hmm.
And you won't have to put that heat up all the way. Like you won't have to go all the way up to 7.
Mm-hmm.
And you won't have to bring your fan all the way down to 4. So just those slight adjustments of not pushing the heat up anymore or lowering the heat down after 6 minutes, I think will give you a good guide to start so you can mess around with it. So, when your beans are finished, you can go ahead and drop them without worrying about taking up the entire 9 minutes.
Right.
Which, you said something a second ago about all of these different variables. And when I'm roasting coffee in New Orleans, especially during the summer, when it's excessively hot and the humidity is at 95%, things roast differently than they would if I was roasting today in New Orleans with, less humidity and a lower temperature. Even when I like it really cold everywhere I am. So when I'm in the shop and I have the air down too low and it's really cold in the classroom, you can tell it takes a little bit longer to roast.
Yeah.
So there are so many different variables that really you have to think about most of the time. But I think finding someone that's in her area that has a pretty good idea of what's going on is going to be really helpful for Dana.
Agreed. And just general principle here, you can't make beans do what you want them to do. You are at their mercy. You have to listen to them and watch them, and you have to take those notes. Like you're doing a great job with that, by the way.
Yeah.
And you're listening to those beans and you're tasting, and you're getting the results, and you're going, what can I do to tweak this and give that bean what it needs so it can give me what I want? That's what you're trying to do. So otherwise, fantastic job. I would just go. I think that's a great thing and good to know. I didn't think about altitude at all.
Right.
We don't have to think about that down here.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of variables, a lot of tweaks. Well, a couple things we want to drop before. We're recording this the week of Thanksgiving, 2024. So if you're beyond that by a good piece, just stop listening now. We have nothing about you to say. But we are going to have Coffee Bean Corral and Current Crop both have Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales that are coming up, and they're the biggest sales of the year that we do.
Yeah.
And this year, and we never know, things may change next year, but this year, Coffee Bean Corral is doing 20% off all green coffee for Cyber Monday. So any coffee you want, 20% off.
Yeah.
Saturday, I'm going back in time now. Yeah, Sample Pack Saturday or Small Business Saturday. I think Amex came up with that. We're doing $15 sample packs. So all of our sample packs normally $18.25, $15.
Yeah.
And then on Black Friday, right after Thanksgiving, so midnight that night, we're doing 25% off of the premium coffees. So your Fancy Pants coffees, we talked about those last week, actually. Your Fancy Pants coffees, now's the time to get them. And the shipping threshold will be dropped down to $100. So you spend $100, free shipping. So that's like 4 pounds of a Fancy Pants coffee on sale, or 5 pounds, and you get free shipping.
Nice.
So that's what we're doing at Coffee Bean Corral. What are y'all doing? Y'all doing something similar?
Something similar. So Black Friday is 25% off premiums and micro lots. And then we're doing Small Business Saturday. If you buy any brewer or grinder, you get a free bag of freshly roasted coffee. And if you buy a roaster, you get one of those awesome Airscape containers, the glass, with the bamboo tops that we got. And then Cyber Monday is another 20% off. But what we're doing is most of these sales are going to start on Friday and going to end. They're going to go through the whole weekend. So all of these three things are going to be available all weekend.
Wow.
Except for Cyber Monday. But all of that is happening. So this is the time to jump in, try those beans that you were looking for, the ones you've been saving up for, and then grab something from the micro lot section. That's really cool.
And if you think like, why are they selling to me right now? They're supposed to be informing me. Well, we are informing you, and we're informing you of here's how you can save some money. Right. So I think this is a service more than anything else, and we're happy to offer it to you guys. But with all of that said, Catherine, is there a chance in like a snowball's chance in hell that we left something out of this discussion on altitude and pressure and oxygen? Yeah. Probably did. Yeah. Probably did. We didn't wear wet lab coats today. Mm-hmm. So whatever we left out, please drop that information in the comments on YouTube, or drop a comment in a podcast app or the Spotify app or wherever you're listening to this. Yeah. Share it, like it, subscribe to it, hit all the buttons, except report. Don't hit report. Don't hit report. Hit all the other buttons on there, so we can blast this out to the rest of the world and get everybody roasting coffee, and just improve and raise the level of discussion. That's what we want to do. But besides that, I just want to say thank you to the team of people that keep us going, our audio, video, our graphics. You guys, thank you so much for what you do. Mm-hmm. It is wonderful to work with y'all, and y'all make us look good. So thank you very much. Yes. But if you have any questions on coffee roasting, coffee enjoying, coffee drinking, coffee brewing, put them in an email to us at questions@riypod.com, and we'll get you next time. All right. Thanks very much, you guys. Bye-bye.
See ya.